much for joining me. So I'm starting work on the Romantique journal. I've already done some bits of ephemera. I've done a video on that. But today I'm starting the actual journal, and we're starting with just the cover. So here are the beautiful Romantique papers. I'll link them below, and I will also link below the playlist where all of the videos relating to the Romantique collection will be placed, so you can refer back. So we're going to get on with the cover. It's going to be a Z-fold, okay, a Z-fold journal with 2 signatures, and we're going to make it interesting, but that might come in another video. So today is just the bare basics of creating the cover. So let's get what we need and get creating. Get started. So we're going to need 3 covers and 2 spines. So your cover needs to be whatever your pages are when they're folded, whatever the height is, borders trimmed off, ready, folded as if they're going in. Whatever the height of your pages is, these pages need to be 1/2 inch taller and 1/4 inch wider. Your spines need to be the same height as these and 1 inch wide. So I'm an A4 user, so mine are 8.5 by 6 on those 3, and this is 8.5 by 1. Okay, I'm using the fabric tape method. I call it fabric tape, it's actually acrylic tape, but it's this self-adhesive stuff. Okay, it's just far easier than wrapping with cardstock. And so you take the backing off and you start at one end. Let's just move this. Start at one end and you attach it there. I am going to speed this part up, okay? If you want to see a slower, in-depth video, if this is the first time you've seen this method, I will link a slower video in the description box below, okay? So remember, if you want to see this done in a slower way, check out the description box for a video tutorial. I've done this so many times. I felt that we didn't need to sit and watch me do this again for 20 minutes. So you can see me there getting 2 thicknesses of scrap chipboard, the same thickness, and you can see me pressing it into the sticky tape there, right up against the edge there. You can see me doing it there, right up against the edge of that. And what that's doing is that's leaving an imprint, and it's telling me the distance that I need to go, and it's approximately 1/4 inch distance between each piece of chipboard. That is to make sure that the pieces of the cover all open and close nicely, okay? It's really important. Don't forget, you can obviously do this with cardstock. You can just glue 2 12 by 12 pieces together and wrap it like you would a traditional mini album. If you're using cardstock, I would advise you very much make sure you have bare minimum 1/4 inch in those gussets there that you can see, because the cardstock is a lot thicker. This tape is wafer thin. I'm sorry my messy head's getting in the shot there, and you can see that I'm taking a lot of time to make sure it's right into those gussets. I hope you can't see my roots because they kind of really need doing. If you are able to you know, stretch your crafty budget to this tape and you can get hold of it, it is well worth a try, because it just makes this whole process so much quicker and easier, okay? It gives for less bulk, it makes your covers more flexible, and it will not split or crack. It's practically indestructible, not 100% indestructible. If you jumped up and down on it or cut it with a sharp knife, it would split, but for normal use it's far more sturdy and long lasting than cardstock, okay? So then we just cut the corners at an angle. Again, I've used my scrap chipboard to give me the depth that I need there, and I'm cutting to the far side, and then we just wrap it like we normally would wrap when we're doing an album cover. Again, the link for the slowed down version is in the description box below if you want to see this done in real time, a lot slower, with lots of talking and lots of detail, hints and tips and tricks, okay? So we're crushing the edges down, making sure that the corners of that chipboard are covered, and then we're going to do the top wrapping. And it's really important to make sure that all of that gets into those gussets as well. So we don't just lay it over flat, we push it in and we coax it into those gussets, as you can see there. Okay. As I say, it's awesome fun to try. I would check out the other video and maybe give this stuff a try. I'll leave a link to where I buy this tape, which is from AliExpress. I'm not saying it's at the cheapest price. You want to ensure that you get 40mm. Make sure you double check you click the correct width, because if you get it too narrow, it won't be as good. You can get it on Amazon, but you will pay probably, you know, they just buy it from China and then, you know, think of a number to charge you. So I get it direct from China. So there you go, and that is all done, ready to decorate. Just faffing about with it, making sure those edges are burnished and everything looks tidy. My next step is to layer some paper on the front and the back. So I don't know why I've cut 3. So I'm just doing the front and the back for now. I'm not doing the insides because I'm not sure what's going there. I have already done the 2 spines, and I cut those to the 1/4 of an inch shorter than the height, and then just 1/8 of an inch shorter on the width, because your spine ends up, with the fabric tape method, it can end up a little bit wider than the original sizing. And so if you cut it 1/4 of an inch shorter that way, it's just a little bit too much spacing for me. So I've done it 1/4 of an inch shorter on the height and 1/8 of an inch shorter on the width, and I've done that on both of them. Okay, and then, which is my front now? I don't know which bit's my front. Well, that's my front. Doesn't matter which way your front is. I've got a little bit of a sticky out bit there, so I'm just gonna trim that. Not too much, because I don't want to expose the cardstock underneath. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. Things don't have to be 100% perfect, but that's bugging me now. That will bug me. I'll fix that later off camera. Otherwise, I'll feel under pressure and I will make a mess of it. Okay. So I've cut this 1/4 of an inch shorter on the height and 1/4 of an inch shorter on the width. Very simple. This is just cardstock. Printer paper, 120 GSM. I have lightly inked the edges with... I don't know which it is. I don't know which it is. It doesn't matter. But all I've done is cover up the white core. Because you've got quite a dark colour, you're going to have a white edge when you cut it. So all I've done with the Distress ink is just swiped it along the edges to cover up that white core. Okay, we don't want that showing. Not that it matters massively, but it's just one of those attention to detail things. Okay, so front first. Okay, and I'm just doing it plain for now because I think I'm going to put something interactive on this front cover. Okay, out of cardstock, but I don't know what yet. So I'm just doing it plain for now, and then if I change my mind, at least I've got a plain base down to get me going. Make sure you spread all of that glue out, clean up as you go, because it is always more difficult after the fact if you leave the glue. You can remove it with a glue eraser, but it's always easier if you clean as you go. So that's the front, and what I'm going to do... No, do I need to do that? I don't need to indicate which is the front and which is the back yet. So this is going to be the back. Okay. And I'll just do the same. And then our next step is to add the signatures. Okay. And am I doing that on this video? I'm not sure. I'll see how many minutes we are. We might do that in another video. I am going to be sewing them in with the hidden sewn-in method, which means we're sewing them to a piece of cardstock and then we're gluing that cardstock into the cover. Okay, I normally do the Midori style. I thought I'd do the sewn-in method this month, although the Midori style is my absolute favourite, but we're only putting one signature in each one. Okay, and the Midori style is better when you've got multiple signatures. If we've only got one signature, we're going to sew them in. It'll be nice and easy, and even if you're new to journal making, if you follow along, you'll be able to do it. Okay, so that's my front. A signature will go there, and it'll go like that, and then you'll open it and another signature will go there. Okay, and it will be lovely. And the good thing about the Z fold is it doesn't matter too much if you get gator mouth. Okay, it doesn't matter too much because, you know, you've got room for it to kind of grow a bit, and we'll make a very simple tie closure. So you've got a little bit more leeway to be a bit naughty with the old gator mouth with this one. Okay, so if you like to fill your journals absolutely bursting, then this is a good method. I think I'll do the signatures on another video, and then I can show you slowly how to sew them and how to glue them in. Okay, so that's it for today. I'm going to leave decorating the front until I've finished my journal, because what I often do is I will decorate all of my front and it all looks lovely, and then I'll get something dirty on my desk, or I'll dauber my hands on it and I spoil it. So I think I'm going to do quite an ornate cover. I've got some printed fabric. I'm not sure yet anyway. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to leave it. Okay. So I'll see you in the next video when we will be adding the signatures. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.